Hey there guys, this is Nintendo PSX in another game discussion. This time, a little late, but that's due to issues between my electricity and my friend here who has been delaying me, but that's okay. Anyways, we're going to be discussing discussing Wind
Fucking up
Waker.
the word disgusting, Tom!
I'm sorry.
It's disgusting. Disgusting.
Discussing.
I fucked that up now.
Yes. Discussing Wind Waker HD Remake for the Nintendo Wii U. Wind Waker was a Nintendo GameCube game that had came out, I believe, 10 or 11 years. No, I think it's 10 years ago. And Nintendo had given us a few screenshots of Windfall Island that had been remade for the Wind Waker. From the Wind Waker remade for the Wii U. So I have
You're awake for this, Tom.
I am awake. I'm awake. It's definitely not 12:10 a.m. where I am.
Also, guys, I'm sorry if my mic is very shitty. I'm using my crappy desktop mic. I broke it. Broke my headset.
Yes, he did, like an idiot. But it's still surprisingly well, so we're gonna deal with it. Anyways, also, side note, this is Guitarguy, if you guys remember him from Scott Pilgrim Let's Play or the Minecraft Let's Play.
Hello.
And today's my birthday. Yay!
Happy birthday. You're another year closer to death.
Yes! Anyways, depending on what day I put this on, it might not be the right day, so February 11th. Now everyone knows. Everyone knows. Okay. Anyways, we're gonna jump right in.
You haven't even uploaded the freaking Assassin's Creed video. Are you ever gonna do that?
Spoilers.
It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. Okay. Discussion of Wind Waker HD. First thing I want to talk about is, do you think this remake is going to cut into the original cutesy cartoonish art style? Because if you look at the pictures that have been posted by Eiji Aonuma, the Zelda director, it doesn't really look too much like the cell shade. I hate my S's that we're used to. It kind of looks more as if it's like a clay plastic looking Pixar movie-ish. That's what it kind of looks like. It kind of looks like a Pixar movie.
I'm actually going to check out the screenshots right now, and I've actually seen these screenshots, and they look cleaner than before. I just went onto the fan. Okay, where is it?
Just go to Google Images.
Right.
It definitely looks more plasticky and more Pixar movie-like, rather than the cell shade that actually made the game so controversially
there it is.
famous / I guess hated at the same time. Wind Waker is a very controversial Zelda game for many reasons, but essentially it's kind of remaking a controversial art style even more controversial, which is kind of strange in its own right.
Really, Tom? Really, you're gonna fuck this? You're gonna fuck this up by saying contradictions and whatnot.
Well, it's kind of what it is, really. I mean, you look at the screenshot yourself, and you can even tell that it's not the same. It builds upon the same cell shade, but it's not the same cell shade, especially when you look at the characters.
I know, but it's smoother, and they've actually added the sun glare, which is... Well, not the sun glare, they added shadows, which actually... It looks very good, but remember, these are before... These aren't actual... These are before it's even going to be coming out, so we don't know if these are the finalized versions. These are alpha graphics.
I think they're in a form beta, or rather I think they're complete, but only these screenshots as they're just to show how things have changed from the original Windfall Island, where you can see a comparison, which I'll put up on screen, where it would... original cell shade... Boom. Yes. The original cell shade looked much rougher, but that was because of the GameCube's graphical input. Now it's with the Wii U with so much more graphical technology, and it's actually an HD remake, not just an HD remix where they add in, this little widescreen HD flare. It's an actual remake where they're redoing the whole game from the bottom up, It's not going to have the same cell shade anymore. It's going to be more, built in upon smoother graphicing rather than the whole thing with Wind Waker. The whole thing with Wind Waker is that it kind of looks drawn. It kind of looks like somebody could have drawn Wind Waker.
I think they were going for the original Zelda games, for the NES. They were trying to go for that graphic style, but they were going, 3D. And remember, Wind Waker came out how many years before Twilight Princess?
I want to say 6, but it might be 5.
And remember, you remember that the GameCube around, the time period between 2000, 2005, it was the number one game console that could give HD graphics, and then, it lost that title to Xbox, PS3, and stuff like that. But it was still a really fun game. I mean, if you looked at Twilight Princess and then you played Wind Waker, you could see the difference in obvious graphic technology. I doubt that for the Wii U that they're going to screw that up for Wind Waker. And then they say that this was going to be like Skyward Sword graphic style?
But it's not Skyward Sword. Because they're still trying to retain the Wind Waker. And you know what's even more interesting about Twilight Princess? Is that Twilight Princess was still built with the GameCube engine. Twilight Princess wasn't built with the Wii engine like Skyward Sword was. Twilight Princess was built with the GameCube technology.
Yeah, so you can see
to the Wii.
And you can see like there's an obvious similarity between Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword.
Similar, possibly. Like, well, I don't know. What do you mean by similar? Like, I'm trying to piece together.
Well, you can see like Link from Skyward Sword and Link from Twilight Princess. You can see a bit of a similarity between they're both of their graphic designs, except for Twilight Princess. He was obviously darker shade.
Well, yeah, because the whole thing with Twilight Princess was making things darker. But we kind of digress from Wind Waker here.
Yeah, let's go back to Wind Waker. Wind Waker, it's I've never played Wind Waker.
Twin Waker.
Anyway, I played Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, which are built on the same graphic design, and they look good. They even made up for it for making it was more of a simpler kind of game to play.
Well, because it was on the DS, and the DS can only do so much.
Yes, but it was. One second. Sorry, getting a drink. But, but you could, if they did this for the GameCube, you could obviously see that it was more cartoony, it was more fun, and it wasn't as graphical. I mean, graphic as Ocarina of Time or the other games.
Well, Ocarina of Time was still an N64 game. But, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's gonna affect the graphics or the art style in a positive or negative way. I personally don't see too much issue, but I can't make a final decision until I see characters in motion. Like, when you see the characters just standing there, like, they look nice, but it still doesn't look like the original art style. I mean, I didn't really like the original art style of Cell Shade too much, so the whole, Pixar animation looking style is, I don't know, I like it better, in my opinion, but to those who adored the Cell Shade, I'm not sure if they're going to take it in a positive or negative reaction.
Well, remember, they care about their fans, without a doubt. Well, let's look at Ocarina of Time. Well, let's look at the Ocarina of Time remakes. You didn't see much of a remake. They just first said, okay, it's going from 64 to the 3DS, but you can obviously see a graphical change to keep up. It looked good, but it felt like the same Zelda game.
Yeah, and I want to talk about somehow of how New Wind Waker is going to apply to the Wii U. And I was thinking of, I don't know if you know this, but in Wind Waker there was an item called the Tingle Tuner.
Yeah,
and it was and you can hook up your Game Boy Advance through the GameCube Game Boy Advance connector cable, and you can see it would give you a whole map of the area. You can drop bombs. You can see treasure chests, doorways, enemies, and it was really useful. And I was thinking, what if they reused the Tingle Tuner, but for the 3DS, where it would do wireless communication between 3DS and Wii U?
That would actually be very cool with gyroscope and everything for the 3DS.
I don't even care if it does the same thing as the original Tingle Tuner did. They don't even need to add new stuff. I think it would just be cool to, do a little download play with your 3DS and the Wii U, and then, just be able to hook it up there, and then, have your map on the 3DS. You could drop bombs and stuff, just like the original Tingle Tuner.
And hopefully make it free.
Well, why would it not be free? It was free on the original Wind Waker.
Okay, I hate to break apart our very serious conversation, but when I looked up the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker remake, you know how they got also considered for Bing? The first thing that came up was Legend of Zelda Wind Waker porn.
Okay. Well.
Hey, this video is not rated PG-13. I just wanted to add a little bit of humor.
Apparently, it is not rated PG-13.
Anyway, I actually do see. I don't know if this is an actual screenshot, but it's Zelda in that. I mean, Link in that pirate captain girl.
Link Tetra on the pot girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an actual screenshot.
Okay, good. Because from what I can see, and I can understand some of the concerns that people are having, but it looks like it's Gumby style.
Gumby?
Yeah, Gumby. You know
Gumby. But yeah, that's basically what Pixar thing is. It's like clay, plasticky looking.
I can understand where they're going, what their concerns are, but it's obviously meant to be like a cartoon game. Interesting storyline, interesting gameplay, but all that can be thrown out the window when it comes to making a graphically satisfying game. But they're trying to stay to the original Wind Waker. I respect that for Nintendo, and not just going, okay, we're gonna remake everything, but we're not gonna give a damn about what our fans expect for the next game.
And you know what I want to say that's pretty interesting is that like the way it looks now.
Yeah.
And like how they do like this whole Pixar kind of looking stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder to myself. Actually, no. The best comparison I can put here for like what they've done is basically look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon show, how it looks drawn and everything because it's a cartoon. But then when you look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the new cartoon, or like the movie where they had the claymation animation stuff, well not claymation, but like the animated one where they were plasticky looking, that's basically what they kind of did. They took what was drawn and they reapplied it to what is 3D. That's basically the best comparison I can put. And I don't think that's wrong. I think it's probably the best artistic decision they can make. But then it drives the question if they're going to make more Zelda games, but without the cell shade, but now use like this Pixar animation kind of looking one.
Hold up, Tom. I see this other screenshot that has like Link standing on a boardwalk. He has a shocked look on his face. Is that for the Wii U too?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I didn't see one like that.
Then that causes irrelevance for all of my discussion right
there. So I was looking at one of the pictures, and I'm wondering about the render distance. And what I mean by that is how in Wind Waker, when you're on the boat and you're when you're sailing on the sea.
You drive boats. You need a boating license. It's
Some
like from
do.
SpongeBob. It's like from SpongeBob.
Pretty much, no. When you're sailing on the sea in the Great Sea in Wind Waker, the islands kind of like pop into view. Like it basically is just flat, and then all of a sudden you'll just see like this grayish figure of an island just pop into view. I'm wondering if they're gonna add like some form of sea fog to phase the islands into view, or if they're still gonna kind of pop into view. Because if they're gonna pop into view on a Wii U game, I don't think that's gonna look too good. I mean.
Well, you see this. Bungie used that kind of technique for Halo Reach, where you could see really far and you could still see, graphically designed characters. I wouldn't doubt Nintendo doing that.
Yeah, because I think it would be much better to have like I think fog on the sea. That's an idea that can work. Like fog and like the trees and clouds. Nah, that doesn't work. Or like Silent Hill fog, like the Silent Hill render fog. But like.
God. We're not talking about Silent Hill. It's been long dead. I'm sorry.
Okay, but yeah, but
sorry, Silent Hill fans.
It was my connection. Anyways, basically, I want to see if they're gonna add like some form of sea fog that they'll like phase the figure of the island into view instead of just kind of having it like into view with the just this gray figure.
It just pops in the view. Oh, I don't see it. Land ho!
That's what it looked like. I mean, it didn't really like pop into view, but like parts of it popped into view. Like it was like the closer you got, the more bigger the island got.
Like you crash into it.
When
it appears.
You have no idea how many times I crashed that boat onto an island and had to sail around it just to get on top of an island. Wind Waker. Why? I hate you so much, yet I'm gonna buy you again for my Zelda, frickin' fix. My Zelda fix.
Well, Tom, do you remember from like E3 2011? I'm gonna say where they first actually announced the Wii U and all the other Legend of Zelda stuff.
Right.
And they had the small video of the Legend of Zelda remake where Link walks in with
Armagoma and Twilight Princess.
yes.
Yes, the tech demo. Funny enough, Eiji Onuma, the Zelda director, talked about that demo in a Nintendo Direct, saying that they wanted to remake a Zelda, so they looked at that idea, and they said that they looked at all the different Zeldas and they tried remaking them, but they felt with the art style of Wind Waker it worked the best.
I can understand that. So the tech demo was pretty much just saying, okay, we have the ability to do this, but we don't want to screw it up for our fans.
Pretty much. I mean, I personally would have loved to see a Twilight Princess remake. I would have loved to see Twilight Princess in HD. That would have been mine. That would have been my pleasure.
Incredible. That would have been incredible for how they would do that, because remember it was one of the best graphically made games.
Yes, it was the best looking Zelda in my opinion.
And then if I could think about it, what's another HD game that they could remake? But they're doing that for Luigi's Mansion, another game that was graphically great, but they're putting it on the 3DS.
Yeah, but it basically still looks the same because the 3DS is practically Wii graphics but stronger.
Which is interesting for me. I love the 3DS.
3DS is a nice piece of hardware, but now we're going to move on. And then, it's funny you mentioned E3 2011, because in E3 2011, they had the Legend of Zelda 25th Anniversary Legend of Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses concert, right?
Oh yeah, we talked about that, didn't we?
Now, I want to know something. I want to know if they're going to have orchestrated music, like Skyward Sword, but for Wind Waker, or if they're going to go in Ocarina of Time 3D style and just bump up, like, the mid-eye.
Maybe.
I want them, if they were, to go, full out and just get the same orchestrated team they used for Skyward Sword and reorchestrate the music. Because just imagine how well Wind Waker music would have sound orchestrated instead of just, added with an extra, like, audio.
That would be great.
I would love to hear Outset Island, Dragon Roost. Oh,
that would be awesome if they did that. They didn't do that for the Ocarina of Time remake.
No, they didn't. They just, like, bumped up
They used the same audio.
Better. The same song, just better, sounding better.
It would have been awesome to hear, like, Ocarina of Time orchestrated, but I can understand what they're doing. And
I guess for Ocarina of Time it made sense, but for Wind Waker, I think it would make more sense to orchestrate the music.
And if they don't, guys, you gotta understand that they're trying, that, even if they don't do that, they're still saying, we want to retain the value that Wind Waker has, we want to retain.
No, they don't need to make it like something super epic sounding like Skyward Sword soundtrack. Something peacefully calming like Wind Waker, but orchestrated would sound perfectly well. And even if they don't orchestrate it, at least remake the music. Not like how Brawl remakes music, but at least remake it where it still sounds the same, but it sounds better.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I would prefer it to be like that, not like the Ocarina of Time 3D style. Because when I heard of Ocarina of Time 3D, I thought of like, oh, the music's going to be all different. And I want to go searching for the soundtrack, and then I find out it's the same. I'm just like, oh. Like, I wasn't super sad. I was just like, I was just a little. I wasn't disappointed.
Just ran around with the
sad
look on your face. Just,
I went around
what's
town.
Wrong? No, you went to school. Tom, what's wrong? Ocarina of Time didn't use orchestra.
Wasn't that on Family Guy?
Didn't even talk, just no.
So, when we talk about a stronger emphasis for music, are they also going to make the cutscenes stronger? Or are they going to add more to the cutscenes? Because Wind Waker did have its fair share of cutscenes. It wasn't just like, like it did have a strong cutscene lineup of cutscenes.
Actually, Tom, that's another thing I want to talk about. I just completely forgot about the remake music. They did the same thing for Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, the remake of the first Halo game. They remade the entire thing, but it was the same music that Marty O'Donnell made. Just awesome. Yeah, I guess. It looked really good, trust me. It sounded really good, too.
This music looks great.
Hey, have you never seen sheet music, Dick?
No, because it gives me headaches.
Then you're not a true musician.
I'm not a musician at all, so
Everyone
I'm fine
watching
with
this
that.
video, just, you know.
Just blam me with sheet musics and I
You
don't
suck,
understand.
Tom. You can't. If you guys can have the ability to find sheet music and email it to Tom, or just put it in the comments below. All your comments, just sheet music.
You mean the email that I'm not going to give out?
It's tom@hotmail.com.
Oh yes, because Tom was never taken throughout Google's existence.
I know, I'm just so smart.
Wait, Hotmail isn't Google. I'm retarded. I thought you said Gmail.
Ha!
Oh, Microsoft. Okay.
Damn you.
Now, here's another thing. How is the gameplay gonna attune for the gamepad? I'm thinking maybe they're gonna go in Ocarina of Time 3D style and just kinda like, put the whole interface on the gamepad. But, actually no. I'd be perfectly fine if they put the whole interface on the gamepad, because seeing Wind Waker remade, I would love to just sit back, stare at my TV screen, and just look at all the graphics.
If they could do this like, flip flop, if you played Wind Waker on your gamepad and just, it'd be the same GameCube thing. They could easily do that.
Oh, that's the thing though, is that they said you're gonna be able to fully play Wind Waker on the gamepad, so maybe the interface isn't gonna be pushed to the gamepad. Maybe the interface is just gonna stay the same.
Excellent work, Nintendo.
I mean, I still would have preferred having everything on the gamepad and like staring beautifully at everything on my screen, but I'm not gonna be mad if they don't change that. I mean, if they don't have that, because I'll be perfectly fine with just having the hearts and everything on screen, because I'm just used to that. It's Zelda, it's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, they did the same thing for, they did that for Ocarina of Time, where they put everything on the lower bottom.
Yeah. I do think the gyroscopes in the gamepad, though, is gonna make what was it called? The grappling hook thing?
Oh, yeah.
Like the hand grapple, the bow and arrow, and the boomerang much easier to use because, oh my god, analog sticks for Zelda games.
Yeah. Didn't you and I talk about, what was it? Oh, yeah, putting the 3DS on there? Oh, wait, we just talked about that. What the?
Yeah, we did.
I'm sorry, I forgot that we were recording.
You lost yourself.
I lost my brain, I'm sorry.
You really did.
It's just on the other side of the world. Fuck you.
But yeah, I'm just thinking maybe the gyroscope's gonna just be used for the bow and arrow, the grappling hook, and the boomerang, which I would love that, because gyroscopes, that would make it so much easier instead of having to use the analog stick, because it would, I try going back to play the old Zeldas, and I use the bow and arrow, and I can't hit anything for crap, because I'm so used to Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, where it's so precise, where I just point and everything, and I'm just gonna I try to play Majora's Mask, and I try to shoot stuff with the arrow, and I'm missing entirely. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
I'm not listening anymore. I'm kidding.
Probably listen.
I heard you. Don't worry.
You better have.
I'm Toast McScroats about listening to my buddy.
Well.
What's some others? Anything else you want to talk about, Tom?
Oh, there's still a whole bunch. I'm thinking, what enhancements / upgrades are they going to add for the game itself? Because I don't think Nintendo's just going to go out with just a remake. They're obviously going to enhance stuff and upgrade stuff. I'm just wondering, what stuff is it going to be? Are they going to make the boat more user-friendly? Because, I mean, all you did with the boat was just, put up the sail and shoot with the bombs, and then just sail across the sea for 10 minutes straight.
Well, it'd be interesting if they did I don't know.
Do I know?
I don't know, but the little things that they could do, like control the boat steering with your gamepad.
That'd be pretty interesting.
It's the little things that you might enjoy, or like what they did for what you just talked about for the bow and arrow, like what they did for the 3DS with Ocarina of Time Remake, how they had the gyroscope arrow aimer.
Yeah.
I'm so smart.
I mean, I'm just wondering if they're going to add, more functions to the boat, because the boat was pretty bland as it was. I mean, Sail and bomb stuff. That's as far as it went.
I have to pop my neck.
It's called cracking.
Fuck you.
Gladly.
Great, now people are going to be knowing.
It's okay. Now, I think these questions are more questions that you'll be able to answer. Do you think Wind Waker HD is a system seller? Is it a game that can sell Wii U's?
Yes.
I think for some people, yes, it might. I think some people will look at Wind Waker HD and will say, huh, this is the game that I'll buy a Wii U for. Obviously, they'll get other games that might come out in the near future, but, you know, is it a game that people look at first when they want to buy a Wii U? And I think that's yes. I think this is a game for some people that, you know, never really, maybe they didn't have a chance to have a GameCube or they had a PS2 and they didn't have a chance to play Wind Waker. This is their chance now to finally play Wind Waker, to finally play the game on a brand new console remade for that console.
Yeah, it could definitely sell. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, the Legend of Zelda brand name is guaranteed to sell, regardless of anything. It's just, is it a game that will sell Wii U's? Is it going to add a huge number to the Wii U? Maybe not, since it's a remake. But is it a number that will add to the Wii U indefinitely? Yes, it will add Wii U's. I think this is a game that people will buy Wii U's for.
Yes, indeed.
Also, this is a very interesting question that was in my mind, is now that they've said they're going to obviously they've said they're going to remake Wind Waker, but now that they are remaking a Zelda game, does this cut away from the possibility of Majora's Mask remake, since the Zelda game is being remade for the Wii U?
Are you screwing up your grammar now?
I said Mask.
Whatever, you said rasp. Anyway.
I probably did.
Ugh.
Because the Zelda is already being made for a Wii U other than Wind Waker, and there's already this remake of Wind Waker. Is this going to cut into a possibility of Majora's Mask, or are they going to wait to the future for one?
Well...
But that future would be probably 7 or 8 years from now. Would there even be a point?
Hold up, Tom. How many people were asking for Wind Waker remake?
I don't think anyone.
For the 3D... No. For the 3DS, for a Majora's Mask game? Maybe. I'm not gonna... You know, they haven't said anything like, oh, we're definitely going to be doing it, but they also haven't said that that they're not going to be doing it.
Well, you can say that for anything. I mean, you could say, like, you could ask them, oh, are they going to make a new Metroid game? It's like, oh, well, you know, you didn't say we're not going to make one. I mean, you could say that for anything.
Yeah, true.
I mean, because this technically is the third game being made for Nintendo right now, because there's 2 Wii U games, Wind Waker and an unnamed Zelda, and that long-awaited, I guess for some people, 3DS Zelda game that nobody has really known about at all.
I don't know.
So I just cut the way into a Majora's Mask remake. Hugely, actually. I think it's basically saying, yeah, it's not going to happen.
You know, this might be them just saying, okay, we're not planning to do this. So, guys, just, no. Quit bugging us.
You know, just pick up Wind Waker and enjoy it. And, you know, it's a smart thing on Nintendo's part, too, because, again, not many people had the chance to enjoy Wind Waker. Well, if you can call it enjoyment.
You know, it's interesting that you said that, because I've never played Wind Waker.
Exactly.
I want to play I want to get the Wii U, you know, for other games, but it would also be the perfect opportunity for me to get Wind Waker. And
since the Wii U is backwards compatible, you essentially have 2 other Zelda games one can indulge in, which is Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess.
Mm-hmm. And this is also another thing of just saying that don't expect a brand new Zelda game in like the next year or so. Nintendo is not one of those video game companies who goes, okay, every year we're going to make a new game, but with barely anything new.
Mario?
Maybe. I have nothing to say. You caught me off guard, shut up!
I mean, yes, that applies to Zelda. I wouldn't say it applies to the entirety of Nintendo, but it most definitely does apply to Zelda. Zelda is not a game they make every year. Well,
Everyone just type
even
in
though
Tom
Zelda
and
has
Tom's a
recently
douche.
been.
Tom is a douche for trying to. No, you're a douche for trying to defeat me in this conversation.
I wasn't defeating anything. It's a discussion.
Yeah, I thought it was a debacle.
No. Shush.
Alright,
Anyways,
we are, you know,
practically done. I was just gonna ask, are there any final thoughts on your end, and then I'll say my final thoughts.
let me think.
You
My
don't have
final
time.
thoughts- Why did you ask me then? I think I just overloaded my mic.
No, you said, let me think, and I said you don't have time. I didn't mean you don't have time in general. Go on, speak.
I think that this will be.
You think? Okay,
I'm
I'm done.
I'm just gonna
No,
type
I'm
it in.
done. I'm done. Speak. Speak.
I believe that that God damn it, Tom.
Yeah.
I believe that I believe that Wind Waker will draw people to the Wii U, but not just the Wii U, but to old console games like the GameCube. And it's going to be a fun game. It's going to draw a good number of people, and hopefully distract people from Rayman Legends.
It is going to be one of the distractions for Rayman Legends. They're releasing it basically in the same time frame. Wind Waker HD is slated for this year's fall, so
Well, Tom, I guess Ubisoft's screwed now.
they screwed the pooch.
And now I've just sent it all your fan base to go destroy Ubisoft. They're gonna be like, oh, what's he talking about? What about Rayman Legends? Hate.
Rayman Legends? You mean the game we wanted but now immediately hate? That's a different discussion.
Yeah, we'll talk about that sometime in the near 6 months.
6 months.
But anyway,
my final thoughts. Right, I forgot. I was about to end the video too. My final thought. I forgot about myself. What else is new? My final thoughts on this are, stop laughing so I can speak.
I can't stop laughing.
I can't speak if you're wailing like a little baboon.
Good, I'm done. And scene.
Okay, good. I mean, my final thoughts are, I love the GameCube. I recently got myself, I didn't get my friend bought me a PS2. And I've been playing some PS2 games. I can see why people much preferred the PS2 over the GameCube, but, I'm still faithful. The GameCube is probably one of my most favorite Nintendo consoles, and I adore it most out of that entire generation. I absolutely love the GameCube, and, going on about that, since Wind Waker was on the GameCube, I do like Wind Waker. I did like it a bit, but there were also a lot of times where Wind Waker had drove me to the edge. Mainly because of the long sailing times, though that's, I guess, understandable, and also due to the most horrible done Zelda fetch quest in history, which is getting the Triforce fragments. You have to freaking go across the sea, pay Tingle at least a minimum of like 400 rupees just so he can decipher a map so you can get the Triforce fragments and pull them together. And you had to go across the sea and get all these rupees. And it was the worst. It was the worst. But it's over now.
Tom, you just went into a rage moment.
I did, because, I beat Wind Waker. I finally beat it, I think, like, last year. Or 2000
Really?
maybe.
Wait, I thought you said that you just beat,
No, it was either 2011 or 2012.
I thought you said that you just beat, sorry. I thought you said that you just beat Majora's Mask.
No, I'm close to beating Majora's Mask. What I beat was, I beat a Link to the Past on Christmas Eve.
Hey, Tom, you're gonna love this.
What am I gonna love?
My Skype just said, Fabulous Lord Girahim has a birthday today.
Yay! I'm so fabulous.
You're so fabulous. You're just so fabulous.
Man,
You're irresistible.
this was more of a joke than a discussion, but
Yeah.
I think it
We
can
have a
do really well. I think the Wind Waker remake can do really well, and I'm gonna purchase it myself because I'm gonna add it to my wonderful Zelda collection. And I'm also, of course, gonna play it and beat it because I already beat Wind Waker, so I have no excuse to not beat its remake.
I'm also gonna buy it too, but mainly because I don't have a Wii U, and I have nothing more to spend my money on.
You need a Wii U first before you get Wind Waker.
I'm just gonna buy it so that I can say to you that I bought it.
You're gonna buy Wind Waker before you get the Wii U. Hey,
No, we're
I
gonna
have
no,
Wind Waker.
no, you're gonna be talking to me. Hey, Hunter, hey, Guitarguy, how do you feel about Wind Waker? It's still in the box.
That's one thing else I wanna add in. Oh, I should have done this earlier, but for those of you,
God, it's going over an hour. We're screwed.
it's not over an hour. For those of you who are actually still listening, I want to know if they're gonna
Bullshit, we're going.
knock down the price of the Wind Waker remake, since it is a remake. Though it is a remake that's being made from the ground up and is not just a HD remix, I'm still wondering if it's going to be shot for a lower price, maybe $50 instead of $64, but I really don't think so.
How much was the original?
Well, I think, back then I don't even know how much GameCube games cost. I really don't know.
Well, the thing is, they did the same thing for Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary with the matchmaking and everything, but it was still at $40. $40 for how they did. The original one was also $40. So they were like, okay, we're gonna make this even more remaked, and say it's still the same.
I mean, God, I have no idea how much freaking the GameCube games cost at that time. I never bought them myself. I always had, my freaking mother or my grandmother buy them for me. I never had to get them myself, so
I almost want to make a joke. I almost want to make a joke for Nintendo, but it would be very classified as racist.
What's the racist joke?
If they
Come
sold
on.
If they sold it at the original price and hardly anyone bought it, the guy who came up with that idea, the head guy at Nintendo would go, "How dare you! You disgrace yourself!" Stab. You shame your family. You shame your family. You leave.
What is a family? I have no family. I am my own family.
Hey Tom, maybe you should
End the video.
Maybe you should illegally pirate it, and so you can have poorly drawn Nintendo executive kick down your door.
Really?
If you guys have ever watched Tom's Flip Notes on Flip Note Hatsina, he's like Professor Stonewall Jackson or something, you will get that joke. It's fucking hilarious.
You mean the jokes that don't exist anymore?
They're still there.
I know they're still there because I never got rid of my account. You know what? This doesn't deserve to be part of the video. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for staying and being here for the discussion. This has been NintendoPSX.
And Hunter from ToastyToastGames.
And I will see you guys in the next episode. See you guys then.